Hi guys, welcome to the Gig Economy Podcast, episode 183. Hope you all doing good tonight. Tonight we're going to talk about Doordash changes their completion rate, and Uber Weekends quests are changing, and a bunch of other stuff. How's it going tonight, Larry?
It is going well, my friend. How about yourself?
I'm doing good.
Awesome.
Getting used to this different setup with being remote, but I think we're hitting it in stride. So anything you want to know about the show, go to gigeconomyshow.com. That's where you can find everything. You can find news, that kind of stuff, blogs that I've written, those kind of things, and possibly a newsletter. Sign up for the newsletter. It won't be just a newsletter. You'll get information on when a new show drops or what's coming and going for the show and stuff like that. So gigeconomyshow.com. Mention our Patreon members: Larry from Bowling Green, Samson from Grand Rapids, Steve from, why did this stop? From Colorado, Bud Dickman from North Carolina, Omar from Detroit, Delivery Cats from Michigan, Jamie from Tennessee, Frank from Philly, Nate from Florida, John McCallion from California. I shouldn't say his whole name, but it's already out there. Tom from Chicago and Jim from Connecticut. If you want to be part of this amazing group, a bunch of people that love to support the Gig Economy podcast, go to patreon.com/gigecon podcast. There you get an extra podcast a month. You get the pre-ramble. On your third month, you get an exclusive t-shirt for the Patreon. And then, and you get ad-free episodes. Sometimes there's ads from Budsprout, and then there's our ads. Not that we don't want our Patreon supporters to support our advertisers, but that's kind of a perk of being supporting us, that you don't have to hear those ads, so you can get the podcast done quicker, which is nice. So, and then we have the Telegram group, which has been very quiet this week, but that's okay.
Yeah, it has been pretty quiet this week. I'm not sure what's going on, but they kind of ebbs and flows.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think it changed after COVID, and that's okay. It's just in a different form now. You know what I mean? I mean, it's still
season. Yeah,
different season. People still chat about it, but I think it's just more weekend chat. But if you want to join that, go to the link in the description. Also, the Patreon link is in the everything's in the description. If you go in the description, you can get everything. Go there and join the Telegram group. Stories from the road. Larry, why don't you go first tonight?
Sure. Yeah. So I had an interesting ride similar to what you had a few weeks ago. This was last on Friday afternoon, about 2:00. So I'd had this lady as a passenger maybe twice before, maybe 3 times. No more than that, though.
Well, it's still amazing that you have multiple people in your car, though, like on a regular basis.
I had somebody the other day 3 times.
Oh my
the same
God.
day.
Oh, it's the same day?
The same day.
Jeez.
Yeah. So I picked her up, and she gets in the car, and she's like, "Oh, Larry, thank goodness." She's like, "I love you." And I'm like, "Oh, what is going on?" She was very drunk.
Man.
She's like, "Oh, Larry, you're my homie." And like, this was not somebody that I'd had a big in-depth discussion with the few times I'd taken her or anything like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, so our destination was a liquor store.
Oh boy. Shocking.
And so we start taking off, and she's like, "Oh man, I'm in bad shape, Larry." I'm like, "What's going on?" She's like, "I hate my life. I'm like, "Well, what are we doing? What's going on?" She's like, "Oh, I'm just tired of people being backstabbers." And she's like, "I'm sorry. I'm so drunk. I apologize. I'm embarrassed being this drunk." I'm like, "Well, then why are we going to the liquor store?" She's like, "Is that what I put in?" She's like, No, I need to go to this certain street, and North Sunrise. And I'm like, "Well, no, you put in liquor store." She's like, No, I need to go to North Sunrise. So we got that taken care of, got that changed. And she's like, she's just on and on. She's like, I'm hating life. I'm so drunk. I hate life. And I'm like, "Well, what's it over at North Sunrise?" "Well, that's where my ex-boyfriend and his new girlfriend live, and he's polyamorous, and so I'm headed over there." She's like, "I think we're going to have an orgy." I'm like, "Oh, okay." She's like, "Yeah, I think I really want to kiss his girlfriend. I really want to make out with his girlfriend." Like, all right, whatever. And then she's like, we're listening. I have like a 80s, 90s station on. And like, I think the Cars were playing. And she's like, I mean, just all in one breath. She's like, "Oh, you like the Cars. You like 80 music." Do you like blowjobs? Like, I want all just like all together. And then she's like, I'm so glad you're my homie. I love you so much. She's like, I love that you're such a family guy. All my other drivers, they're always asking for my phone number and this and that.
Wow.
Hey, you want to go do some coke? I'm like, no, I don't think so. What, do you know where I can get any? No, I don't either. Eventually we get over and we get to the street. She doesn't know the address, just knows the street. And she's too drunk. I don't want to really just put her out on the street. So we're kind of creeping down the street until it took a minute until we find the house, and he's out there waiting for her. Gets out, she gets out, gives him a big hug, kiss. I'm like, well, y'all have a good night.
Man. Yeah. In one breath, she's like, I love how you're such a family man. Do you know where we can get some coke?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the family guy that loves his family and drives for Uber knows where to get coke. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah, she was something else. It was quite a trip.
Well, I'm glad you didn't just put her out on the street. That's always kind of a risk of doing that, of like dragging it along, because you don't know where it's going to go. I mean, when you got somebody that's drunk, I mean, it could be so bad.
Oh, okay. It can drag out for quite a long time.
And it's not like you're making money hand over fist with the time. So
no, definitely not. Not. So that was my interesting ride of the week.
Wade, so no blowjob?
No, that would be a no. No coke, no blowjob.
Man,
no
what a
alcohol.
boring night.
Yes. Well, this was 2:00 in the afternoon.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, this was not even at night. This was 2:00 in the afternoon.
Wow. Well, my story is similar to that. I had Winter Beer Fest.
Yes.
And while I made pretty good money, it wasn't like it used to. So back in the day when we would have these festivals and events, it feels like the entire time you were just busy. That's all you were doing. And I honestly only got about, 3 to 5 rides down there and 3 to 5 rides out of it. I think it was two things. I think the market is saturated, so a lot of people are driving, and the efficiency of although that would have made it faster to get more rides, I guess. I don't know. But it was efficient going in and out of there. But I made like $400 in 10.5 hours. Now that included a little bit of driving on Friday. I think I made $75 or $80 the night before. So
and they had the porta potties right there for you.
They did. I never did use them.
Oh, really?
No, I didn't. One thing I did forget about is how much deadhead driving you do for those events. Like,
oh yeah,
it's been so long since I've driven for a location, and I just turn the app on. I'm just bebopping through the city. I mean, more likely than not, I have someone in my car. I'm not deadheading,
right?
But I would drop somebody off, and then I would get a request 10, 12 minutes away, and I'm like, I mean, it's a surge ride. I'm like, I don't really want to go that far, but like, what else is there going to be? So it just felt like I was, and I did really eat into my battery. So I ended up I quit at like 9:30. My battery was dead. I sent a picture in the group. I had like 18 miles left.
I saw that.
But the first ride, I can't remember if it was Friday and Saturday. Oh, by the way, I did only do comfort. I didn't do any other rides, and I was busy the whole time. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, not that it makes a ton more, but I felt like that was helpful. But again, either Friday I'm pretty sure this was Friday night. I got a Lyft Comfort, which I never get. So it's a apartment complex actually near my house. So I go pick him up, and he waits for the entire timer. I mean, we're down to 18 seconds, and guy comes out, giant man, like just overweight, but still like 6'6". I'm like,
ooh, yeah, big boy,
stumbling towards my car.
Oh no.
And I almost pulled away. I almost did. He hadn't quite made it yet, but he gets the car door open. He's got a 32 or 44 ounce size cup from like Speedway, but it's clear, it's full of beer, and he's got a straw in it.
Yeah.
So he's already drunk, and I'm just like, no, man, not going to do it. And he got a little fussy about it. And he takes 2 drinks and then just throws it on the ground. Now, this is a place that he lives. Like, it's an apartment. I mean, it's not the nicest one, but still, you just walked out of your home and you just throw the cup down.
Yeah.
Then he proceeds to want me to bring him to a liquor store. I told him no. He asked why not, and I said just because you're too drunk, they're not going to sell to you. So anyways, he went back and forth with me and was kind of fussy. And then like halfway through, he's like, "Man, I'm sorry. Don't give me a negative rating. I'm sorry." And then I was just kind of silent because he was really pissing me off a little bit. And he's like, "Are you mad at me?" I'm like, "No, I'm not mad at you." And I just want him out of my car.
Yeah.
This is like a 5-minute ride. And then he's bitching on the way I took to get there. And he doesn't even know he's going to the hotel. He thought he was going somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I 3-starred his ass, and Lyft's not going to pair me with him again.
Right.
But yeah, that was about the extent of just that guy. And then the rest of the weekend, everyone was pleasant and fun. And I don't have any other stories, which I guess is good.
Yeah. Oh, I did have one guy hanging out the window because he thought he was going to throw up, but he did not.
So for new people, what would your best advice be for if you have, let's say you don't have give me all the scenarios, I guess. Like he's going to hang his head out the window. Do you allow them to roll the window down to do that for one?
I'll let him do it. If it's just an immediate thing. I tried to get him to use my puke bags, obviously.
Okay.
And I'll also pull over and like, if you're going to puke, get out, If you're not going to use the bag, then you need to get out of the car.
Why wouldn't you?
It's just going to go down the side of the car, as you know.
Yeah.
And you're still going to have to stop and clean it up.
Here's a twisted thought, though. I would rather them puke like down on the floor than out the window, because I feel like it's going to go in the cracks and inside the door.
That's certainly possible. I've only had one person do that. Just one, I think, through the years.
There's a little black seam that goes, but it's not like sealed tight or anything.
Right.
But
right. Yeah,
I've only had two pukers, and they were both. One was in my wife's minivan. That was fun. That was a lot of cleanup. That was everywhere. And I don't remember the other one, but
I've had like 15 of them use my puke bags, but only 2 that missed the bag.
So you're in a college town, so 15 isn't that big of a deal.
Yeah, almost all those for college kids.
Huh?
Not all of them, but the large majority for sure.
Well, we really only have one more, at least in our market, big drinking day, and that is going to be St. Patty's Day coming up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's funny because my daughter's flying to. Like for her spring break, she's flying up to Northern Virginia, and she texted me like 2 days ago. She's like, "Hey, she comes back like on Sunday night. Her flight lands in Nashville like 11, and she texted me. She's like, "Hey, would you be able to come pick me up?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, I think so." I was like, "Sunday nights, I'm usually not doing anything." And then I looked at it like yesterday, and I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, that's St. Patrick's Day." So I texted her back. I'm like, "Nope, sorry, no can do. That's our second biggest night of the year."
Yeah, for sure. Jimothy says, "Hola, amigos. Is this more let's deter Jim from doing rideshare talk?" Yeah, we're talking about puke. Hey,
we give you the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah.
All of it.
We talk mostly about the ugly, so there's a lot of good in there too.
Oh yeah, there is for sure.
So before we jump into the news, the St. Patty Days for us is we have this huge thing in the afternoon from 12 to 5. It's Irish on Ionia. But so you can really make money two types of the day. You can do, and they start at like 7 a.m. They're drinking 8 o'clock in the morning. You can do the morning, afternoon, and then don't take them home, or you can do the late night. So it's pretty much a whole day of like, you have the chance of making decent money.
Yeah. So I'm wondering how it's going to be this year being on a Sunday.
St. Patty Days on a Sunday?
Yes.
Oh, well, they always celebrate on a Saturday. Like, who's getting shit-faced Sunday night? Like,
there'll be some people, I guarantee.
Well, yeah, but it's not going to be near as busy as Saturday night.
Right.
It's kind of like that's the holiday is always the weekend.
Yeah,
I think my so opinion. Well. But Jimothy heard something about vomit. Well, All right, before we jump into the news, Kim, Side Money Plans. She is a incredible YouTuber, has almost 7,000 subscribers, and she just started a podcast. You can download it anywhere you can get podcasts, just Kim Side Money Plans. She does a ton of tips and tricks, especially for Doordash, and does a lot of content on YouTube. Like we don't do a lot of content. We do one video a week. That's our content. But Kim does a lot of like 5 to 10-minute videos, and just they're really good. And she's great to not talk with, because you're not really talking with her, but she has good conversation when she's streaming. In fact, last night I was on for about 10 minutes. She's doing this whole damn show of hers by herself.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't have a co-host.
That's impressive.
I know. Like, damn. Like, that to talk for that long.
Yeah, be sure and check her out. Yeah, she has some good stuff for sure.
Yeah, the link is in the description. Please go support her, especially on the podcast aspect. She's crushing it on YouTube. I mean, obviously sub to everything. I got the links in the description. So, all right. Gig economy in the news. Uber CEO. I mean, I'm sure you've seen this. We've took our drivers for granted. It's kind of, you got to just, these titles are very clickbaity. So the article talked about how it was the driver that got them through the pandemic. It said the pandemic was forced Uber to take a hard look at the driver experience. Dara said, with an eye toward prioritizing onboarding and other needs, but obviously he's kind of leaning towards that. This is, it's better now than it ever has been. But
which we all know is not true.
No, it's not true. And it's pretty frustrating. There was something I wanted to, I don't know.
He said something about he realized it when he, took his turn as a driver.
Yeah. Damn it. I need to highlight this shit because I always forget, but it was something I was like, okay. But I mean, I don't know why he's, why he's saying this stuff. It's just kind of like stupid, the way he presents itself. But I mean, with all these markets like pushing for minimum pay rates and stuff, like, I mean, it kind of reflects that you aren't paying like you should be. I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like they're very driver focused at all. Right.
And I mean, we all know it's never going to go back to what it was when they first started, when they were, so a lot of places they're paying, 2 something a mile when they're first starting out, things like that. We all know it's not going to go back to that. But it's gone so far in the other direction. Like every year they chip away at what we're making.
So I want to ask you, and then the chat, what would you want to see? Because obviously we know, it's not going to go back to the way it was. Like, that's just, we're thinking about that, and it's great and all, and we would all love it. But let's look at what reality is and what could be done without ruffling the stockholders.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, obviously, I think, when they were doing a flat percentage, I think people were a lot more happy with that because you knew exactly what you were getting.
The 80-20 or whatever it was, like miles in time.
Yeah. And like I said, luckily here, Uber's not doing the upfront pricing, which,
that's right.
If they switch over to upfront pricing too, I don't know if it would be hard to continue to drive, I think. But I know in most places that's what it is. It's upfront pricing, and I know people enjoy seeing what they're going to make, but it's just not worth it to me to get a cut and pay just so I know where I'm going. So if I think they just need to simplify things. They do all these convoluted things that make it where drivers are trying to figure out in 3 seconds whether or not this trip's worth it. You shouldn't have to worry about trying to figure that out every time.
Well, Traveler says transparency, but like what?
Yeah, exactly.
But what do you want to be transparent? I mean, we know everything about the ride. We know exactly how much they're taking. Do you want to know exactly the algorithm? Because they're not going to give that out. That's another thing. Like, we're not going to go back to 2016.
Right. No, they're not. But I think transparency, like I said, the upfront pricing, it's random. As far
it is random. I've seen rides that are the same distance for $7 or $8 more than the other one.
Yeah, I think the rideshare guy, I think they did a test and they had 2 cars sitting side by side. They both got trips. I'm sure they were airport trips or something else. It'd be hard to get somewhere going the same place. But two very different offers for two drivers sitting right next to each other, both going to the same place.
Why do you think they're doing that? Do you think that they're like knowing that, oh, well, this guy didn't take it for this, but maybe this guy just signed on and he's going to take it for cheaper? Is that what their thought process is?
Well, that's why we need transparency, so we know what they're thinking. So we know why they do stuff like this.
But they're not going to give that
No,
up.
they're not. They're not. They're definitely not. But just simplifying things. I think they've made things very convoluted over the years.
Yeah, I think about like what could they do other than money.
Right.
Well, I mean, obviously transparency, but like, people talk about like driver rewards or diamond status or stuff like that, but like, is even that even worth it? I mean, to take all the rides to get whatever, other than the college. I mean, I know we've talked about this till blue in the face, but like for me, I don't care about the college. Like, I'm not going back to college. Like, I don't.
Yeah, I'm probably not either. So that's not a huge incentive for me.
Yeah.
And I know they do have different things. They have supposedly you get discounts on auto repair and things like that.
and EV charging and gas and stuff like that. But at that point, it's probably nominal compared to like getting paid more money. But I don't know. I like your idea going back to like, I'd like to go back to just like $1 a mile. Like, just give me $1 a mile every time. And I think I'd be happy with that. Although if we gave us that, I'd probably bitch about that too. But
I would not be happy with that.
Nah, you want more than?
Well, I make $1.17 a mile, so I don't want $1 a mile.
Well, yeah, we're not making that much. But I mean, like in general, overall, just $1 a mile. I mean, what if they made it $1 a mile to drive to him and for the trip? Like, that would be amazing. So every time your wheels rolled, you were getting paid $1 a mile, and I don't think that's that big of a deal.
Yeah,
I don't think it's that much money, but
exactly.
Well, we'll just have to see. Traveler, remind me again, are you a full-time rideshare driver or full-time gig worker? I can't quite remember. I've been kind of focusing on rideshare. I looked at my Quest this weekend. I'm not driving. Although if Lyft gave me, I haven't seen Lyfts yet. If Lyft gave me like an easy one and it was good, I might go out and drive a little bit, but I'm not planning on driving this weekend at all. But all right, moving on. I thought this probably should have came sooner than later because, it's Uber.
Yeah. So anyway, this popped up the other day. It said chat, message, call. Support's just a tap away, available all day, every day. Starting this month, you'll no longer be able to call our support team directly through our phone number. It means if you're no longer able to dial the Uber support number you may have used in the past or have saved in your phone contacts. So now it says to reach an agent by phone, you'll need to visit the help center and follow the on-screen steps. So you can visit the help center and tap contact support by chat, messaging, or phone.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't call them very often.
No.
So it's not a huge deal, but the way sometimes they hide things in their support. Like, I know I've had an item left in my car and they've redone they've done an update or something on the app, and it takes forever to figure out how to report, a lost item. Or did at that time. So this is just another change. I think, we'll see how it works out, but
yeah, I think one of the things that, I like is I actually like the chat over the, calling. 'Cause I mean, no offense, to anybody that doesn't speak our language. I mean, I'm not being dickish about or not. I just can't understand you. Like when the English you're speaking, I don't dislike you by any means. I'm just trying to be like, I don't understand you. So I actually like the chat. I think it's slower. That's the problem. It takes forever to get things solved. Cause like if I want something solved, of course a phone call is way better. Finally, just like, or trying to email something like, okay, this needs to be a phone call, but
yeah. I don't know if I've ever done anything with them through email. But yeah, chat, I've used a chat a few times. And
well, even with like retail companies or whatever, like Xfinity, like the internet company, if there's an option to chat, I will always do that. Cause like I can do other things while I'm, waiting for them instead of being on the phone. I don't need to talk to somebody, but My name is Bob. I mean, what, they can't put their real name out there. I feel bad for them, but like they got to do that, right? Because I mean, it's just, it's just,
It's all part of the game.
yeah. So he Traveler's full-time gig, large percentage rideshare. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, I'm getting back.
What market, Traveler? What's your market?
He told us before, but yeah. All right, moving on to this. I don't know how big of a deal this is. Changes to the minimum completion rate. At first I was like, oh my God. But like, it's the completion rate. So it's like, it was 80%. So you had, out of 100 deliveries, you had to make sure you delivered 80 of them. And I'm like, okay, who's not doing that?
Right. Yeah. When I first saw it, I thought it was acceptance rate.
Yeah, I did too. I kind of got really excited about it. And I'm like, wait a minute. Like I was actually messaging Gary Middleton from Middleton Tech, and he's like, it's completion rate. I was like, oh yeah. He's like, if you can't do 9 out of 10, like,
what are you doing?
Yeah. So I'm assuming this means like if you unassign too, that's considered a non-completion, correct?
I would imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so that's what's going on. I mean, I'm like whatever on it, but people are losing their mind on it. But just like finish your deliveries. It's not that fucking hard to deliver your orders. But I mean, again, I forgot my work phone, Larry. I need to bring it down because I have all the like stats of like what my completion rate is and all that shit on there. But I'm sure mine's above 90% anyways.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'd have to look at mine. I haven't done a DoorDash in a while, but yeah, I can't imagine that my completion rate wouldn't be above 90%.
It does make you think about like, okay, they're doing this. When's going to be the company that says, guess what? Acceptance rate affects you now. Like they all kind of went away from that. At first it was a thing and then it went away from it. Who's going to be the first company that says, well, if you don't accept this many rides, you're not on the platform anymore?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question.
I mean, DoorDash has kind of done it right because you can't just get online anymore. You have to like be almost top dasher to even like get priority to like even schedule stuff. Like,
right.
So they've kind of in a backwards way have done it, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Uber said that you would need an acceptance rate. I'm not saying I wouldn't drive, but man, I would really have to think about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess they would just, if you're not at 90%, they just shut you down.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind if I'm in the city and I'm like doing a quest. I don't mind bebopping around the city. Like I'll pretty much take anything that pops up. The problem is when like Lyft, there's a 20-minute ride away. You know what I mean?
Right. Like, yeah. I got one of those yesterday. It's the next town over. It's called Franklin. And, it's 25 or miles down there.
Oh,
and then the ride was like 7 minutes. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I mean, at least I know you don't like the upfront pricing, but at least at Lyft you got to see that like it was a 20-minute drive to get there and you're in a 7-minute drive. You're like, fuck that, like that's not even worth it. But 1%, I think mine's higher than that. I mean, if you're doing quests, your AR is going to be definitely higher than that 1%. Like what 1%? Are you even doing Uber? Holy shit, Traveler.
If mine was 1%, I would take like a ride every couple of days.
Yeah, because I mean that's like
we just don't get that many requests.
Really, you don't? You think it's just like how do you stay busy then?
Well, that's why I do Uber and Lyft, and then, food delivery sometimes as well. Throw that in there.
Okay. So when you're running Uber, are you doing the rides and deliveries on it all the time? Unless it's like super busy for rides.
No, I turn the delivery on just when I feel like I almost have to. I try to just do rides because that's what I prefer.
That's fair. That's fair.
But I will sit. I mean,
Will you? Oh,
so, I mean, we have to. I mean, there's just no way to, unless it's a busy night, like maybe a Friday or Saturday night, or if it's a St. Patrick's Day or something like that, then you can do back to back. But even on like a normal, Thursday or Friday, it's not back to back.
I mean, it wouldn't be back to back if I was driving on a Tuesday morning at 11 o'clock. But at that
Right.
point, if I sit more than 5 minutes, I'm turning food on. Like at least Uber Eats, because I know DoorDash, like I said, it's tough to get on there, but usually you can get on there for at least a half hour or so. And then the problem is when you start turning DoorDash on, I mean, it's one thing Lyft and Uber and Uber Eats, but DoorDash adds another level of like now you're 3 apps multi-apping, which again,
Right.
you can use Gary's apps for a lot of that stuff, but it's still a lot of ding-donging going on.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot to handle for sure. And then the other problem here is just we're getting so many, as everywhere, so many drivers.
Yeah.
I mean, Lyft, I don't know why they're offering such a big sign-on bonus or referral bonus.
Yeah, because you say Lyft is dead as hell there.
$1,500. And there's plenty of drivers out there. Plenty.
I don't understand the philosophy of that. They got to see the numbers. Like, why would they do that?
I don't know.
Just because they're probably testing how high do we need to go before, you know what I mean? Before we start getting something like that. But
yeah. But,
all right.
Yeah. $1,500.
That's crazy. Larry, customer catches driver lying about Uber's tipping policy, which oy vey.
Yeah. So there's always people that scam on both sides. You have passengers who try to scam drivers with certain things. And you always have drivers that are trying to scam passengers. We had it a few years ago when they lowered the cleanup fees because Uber drivers were having slow nights and they would send in old pictures of, puke in their car collecting.
I've told passengers that and they couldn't believe it. I'm like, you can't have anything nice. People are always trying to scam the system. She's like, you're serious? People would buy fake puke or spill stuff on purpose. I'm like, yeah, that's so dumb.
Yes. Yeah. So it happens on both sides. So on this article, this talks about a couple different things that happened. There, a story about a driver who tried to charge somebody $150 to give their phone back.
Oh man, that's greedy.
That is real greedy. I mean, especially if it's just right there in the city,
I'm all for negotiating, but that's too greedy. Although I don't know if it was maybe in this article or before, I saw somebody saying that they had somebody's phone or purse or something, and they were going to give it to him after they were done driving. Is this in this article?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay.
No.
And I'm like, wait a minute. You're going to hold on to this person for the entire night you drive? Like, I get it. Like, if it's out of your way, then ask for an appropriate amount of money. But don't hang on to their phone. If you know they have it and you've communicated with them, like, well, I'm going to drive for 8 more hours. Like, I mean, again, if you had dropped them off an hour away, again, but my guess is this was in the city.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
So, like, don't be a dick.
Yeah. And then another story, Uber driver dropped her off but never ended the ride. This one I don't understand. So the Uber driver never ended the drive and they drove around and racked up a $200 fee. Well, as a passenger, you can end the ride.
Yeah.
You can cancel the ride. I don't understand that one.
Although I find a lot of passengers don't understand the app. They actually ask me, they're like, how do I change at a stop? I'm like, and again, this is partly on I should take some test runs, but it's like, I don't know, ma'am. I don't use the app. Like, you're using the app. Like, what the fuck do you want me to do?
That's what I tell them. What I always thought, I was like, man, they changed the app so much that I don't know how it's working now. So I kind of throw it that way and kind of put that spin on it.
Just kind of push it back onto the company.
Exactly. Like, man, they change it so often that I'm not sure how it's done now, but we'll figure it out together. So yeah, and then in this story, the main emphasis of the story, the Uber driver picked up a passenger and informed her that Uber would charge her a 30% tip if she did not tip. He said that was Uber's new policy. If you don't tip, you're going to get a mandatory 30% tip. And she kind of thought that was sketchy, and so she asked around and found out that, of course, that is not true at all.
No.
Yeah, and she had some people, make some suggestions to her. One person suggested, she said, "Oh, well, yeah, that's fine." And when you didn't tip and they ask you about it, say, "Oh, I'm fine with that 30% tip. You earned it," which would have been perfect. That would have been great.
You always think about those responses after.
Exactly. Yeah, instead of the heat of the moment.
So, kind of a side story. For one, would you be okay doing an automatic tip for those services, or do you want to leave it like your discretion?
As a driver?
Well, as a driver, of course, but as a rider, would you be comfortable with that?
I'm not really for it because that's not a tip. You're just raising the price. You're just raising the price of the product. It's like it'd be like a mandatory tip at a restaurant. I mean, I know they have it for big parties, but not for everyone. Like if you go in and they're like, okay, well, there's mandatory cost is going to be included. We're calling it a tip. It's going to go to the driver. That I think that takes away incentive for people to tip even more if they want to. Like I had a lady today. It was just a short ride, random ride, tipped me $10. If she was automatically getting charged 30%, I don't think she would have done that.
Yeah. So you bring up the comment about the restaurant. So my story is 2 weekends ago, or maybe it was last weekend, Megan and I went to a comedy club. And most comedy clubs have a 2-drink minimum. Like, I think that kind of helps absorb the cost of the comic, or I don't know, whatever.
Pretty standard.
I'm fine with that. That's standard around the market. Well, during the night, like I ordered 2 fucking fruit drinks. There was no booze in them. Like I might as well just had soda. And I asked for water. My wife asked for water. She just drank like 2 sodas because she wasn't drinking alcohol. And we asked for water. We never got the water. We asked 3 times. Go to get the bill, 20% mandatory added just for the 2 of us. So every party in there got 20%. So what does the wait staff have? Who cares?
Yeah, they have no incentive.
No, they're going to get their drinks. That's going to raise the price of the ticket or the bill, but they're not going to get water. And so I saw somebody complaining about Grins like a week later. And sure enough, same thing. Didn't get any water. I was so dehydrated. They wouldn't give me water, but they charged me 20% tip. And I'm like, that's just bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole job is like, if you're going to pay your staff, a wage, then don't put it in as a tip. Like, don't make it like just raise your prices or something. I don't know.
Right. And that's what I was saying. It's, at that point, it's just price of service.
Yeah.
It's just a higher price. For the service.
Yeah. I don't know. I might be okay with like a 10%, and then I'd be like, oh, I did a really good job. I'm going to add a little bit more. But yeah, once it gets into the 20 or 30% area, you're like, that's a little much. Like your car smells like cigarettes. So
exactly.
All right, where are we at? Oh man, we got a lot to get through and 20 minutes to go. We've been chatting it up. Oh God, these will go quick. But so if you're Mexican out there, Doordash, this is a Doordash, and I don't know if you ever been on the user end. I have surprisingly more on Doordash than the Uber app, but it says because you're Mexican, and it had pictures of Mexican food or stuff like that. But Mark's on here. Hopefully he's still on here. He's like the tech guru, so he can tell me if this is photoshopped or not. I don't know. It does not look photoshopped to me. And the guy's literally like holding the picture, although he did wipe out a address or whatever. But like, because you're Mexican, you might like this. I'm like, do you think it should be like, maybe it was like because you like Mexican food? But look at you're Mexican. It doesn't have okay, this is language, and doesn't it need an apostrophe there?
Yeah, that's just what Mark just said in the comments.
Yeah, I bet it is. Apostrophe. I think I just figured out it is Photoshop. Motherfucker.
Yeah. But they did a good job. They used the same font and everything.
Yeah, Doordash isn't going to forget an apostrophe.
You wouldn't think
Damn it. I was all excited about this one, too.
Busted.
Oh, damn it.
Good job, Mark.
Good job, Mark. I actually didn't see his comment. I'll be honest with you. I caught it myself. I read because you're Mexican about 100 times while I was talking. I'm like, wait a minute. We
talked about this one before the show even.
I know. Like, neither of us got it. Like, I looked at the picture a couple of times before the show, and I'm like, it is legit.
Yeah.
Apostrophe. This is how you can tell we're both hillbillies, because we didn't even recognize the apostrophe.
Yeah.
And then this, what we talked about at the beginning of the show. Sorry. Weekend quests.
Yeah, weekend quests. They're changing the days apparently. So I guess it used to be Monday through Friday.
No. This is. Yeah. So they're changing the both of them. It used to be like Monday at 4 or 5 a.m. to Friday at 4 or 5 a.m.
Okay. So we don't get Uber Quest here. So
Oh, gotcha. So
I
yeah,
don't see these. Yeah. So the weekday quests are going to be from Sunday at 4 a.m. through Thursday at 4 a.m.
no.
And then the weekends are
Oh
going to
yeah,
be
yeah.
from
Sorry.
Thursday 4 a.m. through Sunday at 4 a.m.
Yeah, they're basically adding a day and reducing a day on the weekday quests.
Yeah.
Is that right? Did I think that's? I mean, you can't have them be this. You can't be. They can't be the same because otherwise,
Yeah. No, they're not. There's no overlap there.
there's no overlap.
So yeah, it's shifting a day, shifting one
I
of the
mean,
days.
I was watching Show Me the Money Club, the rideshare guy the other day, and they were I think it was last night, and they were talking about the weekend quests, and
Right.
they were kind of bitching about it. But I'm like, I mean, it's one more day now. If they, here's the thing, and I did comment on the post on their stream and said, are they going to reduce or are they going to increase the amount of rides you need for these quests? Like if they do that, then it's a fucking wash, right? Because I can't go out on a Thursday night and do as many rides as I can on a Friday night. But it does give you more time. You know, I always try to, like, some of my quests, if I have, before I started working 5 days a week at the school, I would have Fridays off. So I would drive in the morning, be done at 8:30, and then have to be there at 2. And I would start working on my quest during that time. But I mean, if that's available, I'm okay for that. Like if I got more time to do it, I might do it. I mean, what if I have stuff going on Saturday night? I'm like, if I can bang most of these out Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, then maybe I do it. But I don't see a negative of it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a huge deal to me. But then again, like I said, we don't get them here, so
Yeah,
so it's easy for me to say that.
yeah. Well, you also get $1.17 a mile, so shut the hell up.
Yeah,
So
show me the money.
Yeah, you should go on that stream and like, who's got the highest per mile? And you're like, Bowling Green, $1.17. I can't believe I totally forgot when I was asking for $1 a mile and I was like thinking I was asking too much. You're like, hey, bro.
Yeah, I think I've seen maybe one other market that was higher.
Yeah.
And I don't remember where it was.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. And that's another thing. I mean, again, they're not going to show us, they're not going to be that transparent to tell us why they do, this market, my market's $1.17, Nashville, an hour south is, 70 cents or 67 cents or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they were till they went to the upfront pricing down there.
Right. Now, who the fuck knows how much you get per mile? It's just,
it depends on how you spell your name or something.
Yeah. Literally, that's probably what it is.
Yeah. What astrological sign you are, or if your planet's in retrograde or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. Fucking stupid. Fucking stupid. All right. I kind of went out of order here, but I'm going to quick talk about this. So,
okay.
Righty, hello, mother effers. Please go subscribe to I mean, if you don't want a mobile vending service in your car that's freaking tits, then don't do it. But go in our description. The link is there. You can pre-order. You got to choose that link to pre-order it. And I think they give you a better. No, I'm not going to say that because I don't know for sure because I tested the link a few times and it looked like the link was for the silver. Remember we talked about that? I swear it's a cheaper price. But anyways, mobile vending machine for your car. It's called Righty. Like I said, the link is in our description. I've been super excited to talk about this. I've been talking with Boris, one of the co-founders, on Telegram. I asked him his Telegram. I was like, do you got WhatsApp or Telegram? He's like, I got Telegram. I was like, fucking A, let's go.
There you go.
You know me and my voice messages, but I love to send them. I can like explain myself better than trying to email. It's so annoying. Email, I hate email. It's so 2000.
Yeah, it's outdated.
I mean, I know you need it for like, forms and links and shit like that. But anyways, check Righty out. This is not like Cargo. Cargo was ghetto as hell. Even though I signed up for it and didn't get it, Cargo is ghetto. Like this is amazing. So basically, the gist of it is you put it on the back of your headrest in the back, and it's like I should have shown a picture of it, but it's what would you describe that as, Larry? Like,
yeah, I mean it's
got like 8 pockets.
Yeah, it's kind of like a
apron,
canvas apron that hangs on the back of there, but it's got individual pockets and it's got a little metal ring that locks it. And so when the passenger orders something, they go through the app on their phone. As soon as they pay, that metal ring pops open and they're able to get their item.
Yes. And I was the first person to add a thing in the America market. I added a can of Monster Energy drink, so you can add your own products. I downloaded the app. I will let you know the app is only on Android right now. They are working on. My guess is by the time they ship them, they'll have an iPhone. But I went in there. I just scanned the barcode. I put in the information. Within an hour, they had approved the Monster Energy in there. So it's fucking cool. You scan the QR code. You put in what you want. You pay via Stripe, Apple Pay, Google Pay, or whatever, and then the fucking thing unlocks, and the customer takes it out.
Yeah, just got to get them to prove my Lifting with Larry T-shirts now. That'll be good to go.
I mean, who knows? They might. I mean, I'll put in a good word for you. Me and Boris are like this, so
I that's what I heard, man.
Yeah, so definitely check it out. Righty, the link is in the description. Or pre-order your thing if you're interested in selling it. You're not going to make a ton of money. It's like the octopus tablet, like the volume. You got to sell the volume. I mean, if like somebody like Larry, I think could do volume. I think he could because he's in a college town. Whether it's water, Monster Energy, 5-hour energy shots, any of that, I think he'll be able to do volume. Condoms, yeah,
aspirin,
charging cords, yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, check it out. I really I'm passionate about them. I think they've done a good job, and what's the catch? The catch is you have to pay for the device, which is $39 or $49, and they take 5% of the sale. So if you sell something for $5, they take 5% of that. So
if you do referrals, you can even get that 5%.
Yeah, so I think every referral you do, you get 6 months of no fee, right, which is fucking good if you think about it. You refer 10 people, that's a long time not paying a fee to them.
Exactly.
So I've seen people share the link already. It's starting to get around, so.
Yeah, get in there why it's early.
Well, it's early. Yeah. Set it up so you don't ever have to pay a fee to them. So
there you go.
Okay, we're gonna talk about this. I can't believe I didn't put it in the title. Wendy's, what the fuck are you doing? And I have an update video on this, so I'm just gonna play the videos. It's self-explanatory, and then we can talk about it.
Wendy's has released some absolutely crazy news today. Those who utilize services like Uber and Lyft are all too familiar with surge pricing, where the cost of a ride goes up depending on the time of the day and the demand. Well, the CEO of Wendy's today announced that they are going to start exploring surge pricing on their menus. The CEO announced that they are going to invest $20 million in digital menus that can change based on the demand and the time of day. That means that if you want Wendy's during lunch rush or dinner rush, you might pay a premium. Wendy's has not yet said how much the prices of their food items would go up during surge or peak times. However, this is definitely a surprise move by the chain when Americans are already feeling the pinch related to inflation. And you better bet that other fast food restaurants will be keeping a close eye on whether or not this new format and pricing works.
So what I found out from the CEO just recently, like he's brand new this month. So I don't know if this was like a way for him to like flex or something like that. So if you really read the article or the statements from, I think it was the earnings call, it's very vague. You know, that guy explains it in layman's terms, which I fucking appreciate so much. Like, don't give me the numbers bullshit. Just tell it to me. So obviously, everyone was uproar. You should have seen the comments on our local like news. I'm sure you saw it too. 800, 900, 1,000 comments on this. Like, it's like people are losing their shit just because everything's so expensive now. And you're like, really? Fast food is all we had left. Well, not really. It's been going up too.
Yes.
What was your thoughts when you saw that?
Oh yeah. When I first saw it, I was like, well, this is just a horrible idea. Almost everywhere you see a Wendy's, there's another fast food place literally, right there next door or close.
Yeah.
So if I have a choice and I know price is going to be surging for fast food, I'm just going to go next door to McDonald's or Arby's or whatever else is closer there.
Me personally, Wendy's is my favorite food or fast food. I love their sandwiches. Mm-hmm. I think their fries are okay, but McDonald's fries are like, if they're hot, they're the best.
Yes.
But I love Wendy's. So then, of course, today another video comes out. He's kind of backpedaling a little bit. So I'm gonna.
And they also said that they were misquoted, and I can believe that because when I was working for the city, I had to be interviewed a few times about different things, and there was things in that article. I'm like, I don't know where they came up with that. I said that is not anything like what I said. So I think it could be they were misquoted.
Yeah, it's totally true what Larry said. I've been involved a few times with the news too, and there were things in there that were almost not true. I mean, it was kind of like a stretch of the truth. I'm like, that's not quite what, or that's not quite what happened. Like I was involved in a tornado where I lived when Meg and I first met. And I mean, it went right through between me and the neighbors. It mostly was straight line winds, but we lost shingles and trees went down. And the way they reported it was very weird. I was like, that's not exactly how it happened. But here's a follow-up video from another TikToker. So
It's 12 a.m. and Wendy's is not asleep. They have officially responded to all their backlash that they've been receiving on their surge pricing menu boards. To clarify, Wendy's will not implement surge pricing. We did not use that phrase, nor do we plan to implement that practice. No plans. This was misconstrued in some media reports as an intent to raise prices when demand is highest at our restaurants. We have no plans to do that, and we would not raise prices when our customers are visiting us most. Wendy's is taking the classy approach here, okay? You guys got it wrong. We didn't mean to do that. I think if we had the angry translator here, she would be pissed. One thing I found a little interesting in the article was an analyst named Tanner from Wendy said the visual menus will help reflect the fluctuating prices throughout the day. What does that mean, Tanner? Is this a stock market of burgers? Are they going up and down? Are you really going to lower the prices if the beef goes down? I don't get that. What does that mean? Anyways, what the heck is all this? Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. Is Wendy...
Okay, so I did see an article later tonight, and from what I read from Wendy's, they said that it's mainly going to be used to show different items throughout the day, but they also said during slow times, they may discount things. So they were saying they were going the other direction. We're not going to use to raise prices, but we may lower prices on items during really slow periods.
I think they're gaslighting us. I honestly think they are.
They may be.
I mean, I can see that them doing that, but why wouldn't they? Yeah, I don't know. I'm backpedaling on hating on Wendy's a little bit because if they were misquoted that, like that surge word, if that was never said, that's fucked up.
And they're spending a bunch of money on these too.
Yeah, it was like what, $20 million?
$20 million, I think.
Yeah. For a lot of money. And why? And I'm just like, why would you do that? What would it do? Are you just saying that basically that us Americans are so stupid that if it's higher price, we'll pay it? But here's the thing. How much higher if they were going to, let's say they were, which I still think they are. I think they're backpedaling and they're going to try to figure some way of doing it. But how much more are they really going to raise it? I mean, it's not like they're going to put it up $5 more. It's probably going to be like 50 cents. Are you really not going to go to Wendy's if it's 50 cents more?
Some people wouldn't.
I mean, you're going to
on principle.
Well, travelers like I'll stop going. Like for 50 cents, you're not going to go for 50 cents. I mean, I drink 2 Monsters a day. It's $5 I spend $5 a day in Monsters, but we're not going to go to Wendy's for 50 cents. I'm just using 50 cents as an example. I mean, if it was $5, of course, they're fucked, right? But yeah, I mean, I get it. Mark's probably right. It's interesting how they do it. Well, I think Wendy's has an AI person taking the order too. Yeah. And
I'll have to look for sure. But if I remember correctly, like their Twitter account is
good.
It's
good.
Throughout the past few years, it's been pretty interesting.
They roast everybody.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Nobody is safe from their Twitter account.
Right. Shit, I was going to say something, but I totally went out of my mind. I read something. I read Traveler's comment and then it screwed me up. But yeah, I mean, it may be the principle of the thing, but what was I going to say? Oh, I know what I was going to say. My wife last night said, she goes, in our lifetime, we will have fast food restaurants that nobody's there. Or there'll be one like manager there to make sure the machines are running correctly and food quality's there.
Yeah, I mean, White Castle, a lot of them already have a robot that makes the burgers.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Robot.
Why not? Like, it's stupid. Like, might as well. Like, I think McDonald's would be the first to do it, though. I feel like they're the most innovative with stuff, but.
Yeah, and already some McDonald's, the people taking your order are not in the restaurant.
Really?
Oh yeah, a lot of them are in another state.
No way.
No, look it up. Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting. I've never heard that. Can I work from home and take orders from McDonald's? That would be awesome. Just sitting here lazy boy.
Mark said they're already automated McDonald's.
There's full automated ones?
Completely.
I need to see a link.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they weren't, if not completely, if they weren't pretty dang close.
Yeah. All right, let's do this Lyft one, and then we'll wrap this shit up. Larry, where is it? There we go.
All right. So this is something that Lyft never had until recently. It was just a way to look and see how much driving time you had left. I mean, the only way you could do it, you could go into your rides and it would show like in a roundabout way. But Uber is always easy. You could just click on it. It would tell you you've got 6 hours, 23 minutes left. Mm-hmm. And now on Lyft, if you click on your earnings little at the very top center of your screen, if you click on that and then scroll down, it'll say driving time and show you how much time you have left. So this is a small change, but it's one that I appreciate.
I had asked if this was new. I swear they already had this, but I don't drive Lyft enough to even know. And do you ever even get to the time limit? Is it ever a concern for you?
On Lyft, I've timed out.
Really?
I mean, well, because Uber you usually don't, because when you set for 5 minutes, the Uber clock stops.
True.
Lyft is just, if you're online, the clock is ticking.
So here's a question. Oh, really? So I thought it was the same. When you take an Uber ride, do you shut the Lyft one off, or you just leave it on?
No, I shut it off.
Oh, you do shut it off?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I've timed out, and there's been twice, like I've been trying to get to a Lyft, like bonus.
Yeah.
And timed out with one ride left.
Oh no!
I've done that twice.
Oh
yeah.
No!
Yeah.
Mother, may I would lose my
one
mind.
of them I knew it was coming. I was pretty sure, and then the other one I had no idea that I was even close.
Oh,
and I was sitting there, and all of a sudden I'd just taken a ride, and then it came up and said, "You've been driving too long. You have to take a break."
Oh, I would cry.
You sorry son of a gun.
I would cry.
Yeah, not happy. Not happy.
I got to go back to the talking about taking orders. He said, Traveler says a great side gig. I know. If I could fucking get in my computer right here and like, they're going to pay me, I don't know. What are they going to pay me? Hello, $12 an hour. Like, I don't know. Like, it'd have to be more than that. But like, sit here for 4 hours. Like, I'm not doing anything on a, Thursday evening. I can just like log in and take people's orders on my expensive microphone. I don't want to be a customer service person. I just want to take an order. Like, I mean, you have to have a little customer service there, but you're not dealing with the fallout when, he comes to the, I don't want to take calls from people's orders that are fucked up. I just want to take an order. I want to have a computer screen. I can just type it in or hit, touch screen, pay me. That's what I want.
So I just looked it up real quick. It says, did you know some of your favorite restaurants need people to take orders for their customers right from their home office?
What?
Restaurants like Red Lobster, Mod Pizza, Noodles, Chipotle, Red Robin, KFC, Pizza Hut, and many more have legitimate work-at-home opportunities.
Gah! I mean,
there you go.
Gig work's slow in the summer, and I'm not going to be driving bus. Let's go. I'll do that. I mean, depending on how much it is. If they're going to pay me $8 an hour or minimum wage, they can eat a dick, but it's going to have to be like 15 or above. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, maybe I'll be taking your order at Red Lobster.
Yeah, McDonald's started testing that actually in 2009.
Wow. I wonder what the advantage is. Oh, like no overhead for that person or something because you're at home? I mean, and it's probably better. Like it just doesn't have the stress of like you're not stressed out. You're just like
you're in your nice quiet home office.
Yeah, it's quiet. They're like, oh, can I take your order?
You're in your jammies.
Yeah,
you're feeling good.
You honestly, they're probably nicer to the customers if they're at home than they're like stressed out. Like it's fucking busy. You got 20 cars and like you have no idea. You're just, although you probably do see a queue but you're probably
Yeah.
just like,
But you're not hearing all the noise from everybody
Yeah.
running around and cooking and dropping fries and
Yep.
all that chaos that is a fast food place.
yeah. Oh, that's so interesting. I actually fucking learned something today. I love it when I learn something on the podcast.
Isn't that cool?
That is cool. I have to say, I think Mark needs to be our resident, like looking up shit, like so we don't have to look
Fact
at.
checker or whatever.
Yeah, when we're like talking shit, we'll be like, Mark, look up that shit. So I know what I'm researching tonight. Mark,
You see, Mark.
yeah,
He's been
I
taking
hate
calls
people
for
now.
10 years, but he hates people now.
Well, hey, Mark, I hated people all along, so I'm
That's
right for
I
that
mean,
job.
He never even did that. So
Jimothy says, I know what I'm researching tonight. Who knew that could be a thing?
hey, Jimothy, yeah, you don't have to worry about anybody puking if you're taking calls from home,
I
right?
know. That would be amazing. Like, I have a perfect space down here, in my underwear.
Doesn't matter if you have bedhead. Doesn't matter.
No.
Jammies.
And it'd be cool if you could tap into their intercom in there and like, hey, bitch, hurry up with those fries. And then like unclick.
Oh, goodness.
That'd be amazing. So,
That'd be sweet.
well, guys, thank you guys so much for listening tonight. A couple of things coming up. We have a kind of a not a rotating. We have a guest host that's going to start at the end of March, either the third or fourth week of each month. Also have somebody on the 13th. His platform is Tip. Oh, fuck. I fucked it up. What is it? Hold on. I think it's tipyouintheapp.com. I literally think that's what it is.
Very cool.
Tip you. Hold on. Yeah, Tip You in the App. Literally, that's his website.
Domain name. Good deal.
And you can get it on YouTube too. Cool fucking dude. Cool dude. We had a pre-interview a couple days ago. Very good guy. His story's interesting. So he's going to be our B-side. We haven't had a B-side in a while.
B-side.
The B-side. And so he's going to come on as like a gig worker, creator, all that stuff. So that is March 13th. So that's 2 weeks away.
Very cool.
And
looking forward to that.
Just FYI, next week's stream, it's my fucking birthday. So you better bring the heat. I'm going to be 48. I'm going to need some great comments. I'm going to need some pantless Larry. I'm going to need a lot.
Hey, I was here for my anniversary, so.
Oh, I'm going to be here. Just another day for me.
Oh, yeah, I know.
But I'm going to be here.
We need lots of listeners. We need lots of comments. We need lots of. Hopefully, we'll have some good stories to share.
Yeah, I don't know. I ain't driving this weekend, so the pressure's on you.
It's all me, huh?
It's on you, brother.
All right.
Anyways.
I'll see what I can do.
All right. And as always, don't put up with anyone's bullshit.
And we'll see you on the road.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
This podcast is produced and edited by Hey Guys Media Group. Want to start a podcast? Check out heyguysmediagroup.com.